The nursery where our daughter attended caught fire. My husband, Vincent Lockhart, rushed in without hesitation, but emerged carrying an unfamiliar little girl. "Mr. Lockhart, have you made a mistake?" "That's not your daughter," someone called out. But Vincent, his eyes red-rimmed, only clutched the little girl tighter, shielding her protectively. In that split second, the face of my husband's true love flashed through my mind. Later, our daughter was finally rescued by firefighters. She was already severely burned, with no signs of life. Ding! This novel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. The funeral home was filled with the sound of muffled sobs. At the center, adorned with flowers, stood the portrait of my daughter. Such a pity, the child was only 5 when. Someone whispered. "Please, don't," someone interrupted. I knew that at this moment, everyone was trying to gauge my reaction, to see how I, as a mother, was coping with the devastating loss of my daughter. I heard the poor child was burned beyond recognition. How much she must have suffered in her final moments. Each word felt like a sharp knife, piercing through my chest. I thought I had run out of tears, but hearing these comments, my vision blurred once again. I swayed, barely managing to keep myself upright. As for Vincent, he knelt beside me. He stared at our daughter's photo, his face devoid of any emotion. He seemed even more indifferent than the strangers around us. I overheard hushed voices behind me. Vincent never really cared for Teresa. Now that the child is gone, I reckon this once celebrated marriage is over. Well, Teresa brought this upon herself. Who told her to chase him all the way to Mexico? And then use the company to blackmail Vincent? You can't force love. Vincent and Lexi were meant to be together. Now with their only child gone, Vincent will surely divorce her. But the child was so young. You don't understand. For families like Teresa's and Vincent's, where marriages are arranged for business alliances, children are the glue that holds everything together. With the child gone, Vincent will definitely go after his true love. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I forced a bitter smile. It was true. Back in university, Vincent and Lexi were the golden couple. Although Lexi wasn't from a wealthy family, she was brilliant, sweet, and her relationship with Vincent was the talk of the campus. Later, Vincent's family sent him abroad, while Lexi was warned by his family to stay away. I pursued Vincent overseas, using our family's business ties to force him into marriage. Everyone knew. Vincent despised our marriage to the core. After our wedding, except for our wedding night, I rarely saw Vincent. I often had to learn about his whereabouts from Lexi. At first, I was furious and confronted Lexi at her home. But it was Vincent who opened the door. He looked at me coldly and said, "We're married now, and a union between the Lockharts and the Fords is most beneficial. What more do you want? Can't you leave Lexi alone?" After that, I never went back. In this dysfunctional family, our daughter grew up insecure and anxious. Despite her young age, she could sense who truly cared for her. Although she craved her father's love, she never dared to approach Vincent, always looking at him with a mix of hope and fear. Yet Lexi's daughter effortlessly received the fatherly affection that should have been for our child. Vincent's love for Lexi became crystal clear to me when I saw him rushing to save her daughter from the fire. All these years, Vincent hadn't changed a bit. He had always loved Lexi, even when it was his own flesh and blood who had perished. Suddenly, I felt utterly drained, unable to utter a single word of accusation. It felt as if a small knife was repeatedly carving into my heart, the pain spreading through my entire body. My fingers trembled, and my eyes filled with tears. Looking at my daughter's portrait, I could almost see her small, soft form before me. My breath caught, and darkness enveloped me as I collapsed to the ground. In my fading consciousness, I caught a glimpse of Vincent's cold, indifferent gaze. When I woke up, I found myself surrounded by people. Everyone was looking at me with concern. But in truth, I hadn't even met many of them before. Most were likely supporters of the Lockhart and Ford families. Once, I would have found such superficial concern laughable and contemptible. But when I saw Vincent's emotionless eyes, I thought that sometimes, it might not be so bad for people to pretend to care. I propped myself up, forcing a smile. I'm fine, everyone. Please don't worry. Vincent's father was sitting with my parents, all three of their eyes brimming with anxiety and sorrow. Later, only Vincent and I remained in the room. Vincent, I began. Have you ever felt any regret or guilt? If only you had been holding our daughter that day. Vincent looked up, tugging at his tie. I was closer to Lexi's daughter. In that situation, I could only choose the safest option. I let out a bitter laugh. Is that so? It seems you didn't have any personal feelings involved. I must have misjudged you. Hearing the implication in my words, Vincent's expression darkened. Teresa, what you should be focusing on now is arranging Mia's funeral, not dwelling on useless, imaginary scenarios. My phone chimed. I glanced down at the screen. It was a photo of a girl smiling brightly. Lexi Owen had sent it to me. The girl in the picture was Lexi's daughter. And in the photo, holding the girl with a warm smile, was Vincent. Pain and anguish entwined around me like suffocating vines. My hand clenched involuntarily. Her daughter had survived, while mine was forever lost in that inferno. My Mia's life had been cut short at just 5 years old. In her final moments, she had watched her own father carry another girl to safety. Her hands, burnt by the flames as she reached out for help. What disappointment and terror must she have felt in those last seconds? Vincent, it seems Lexi's daughter needs you too. You don't have to waste your time here with me. Vincent frowned. Teresa, I've told you many times not to bring Lexi into our issues. Can't you speak civilly for once? I pulled the covers over myself, turning away from him. I am speaking civilly. Please leave. I want to rest now. Once, I had desperately longed for just a glance or a word of comfort from Vincent. Now, as he sat by my bedside, I felt nothing but suffocation. After the funeral arrangements for Mia were taken care of, Conrad Simmons, Vincent's friend, came to see me. When I was with Vincent, Conrad never liked me. His attitude towards me was completely different from how he treated others. You could say that where I was, he wasn't, and where he was, I wasn't. Oddly enough, after Mia was born, she became very fond of Conrad. He showed even more patience with Mia than Vincent, her own father. Now that he's here, I suspect it's just to interrogate me. Naturally, I don't want to meet him. If you have something to say, just say it. If it's accusations, I don't want to hear them, and I don't need to. Conrad's eyes flickered slightly. I have no reason to kick you when you're down. Mia was innocent. Even if I dislike you, I wouldn't use this to attack you. I know Vincent didn't save the child. If anyone should be blamed, it should be him as the father. I sat on the sofa, turning my head to look out the window. Ever since Mia passed away, every time I heard Vincent's name, that heavy feeling of helplessness suffocated me. All my past persistence with Vincent had become a joke at this moment. Every time I recalled it, it silently mocked me. I just wanted to see if Mia's mother is doing all right. Conrad said softly. I looked up and met Conrad's gaze. He added, also as a concern from Vincent's friend. I laughed. Since the last time, Vincent and I haven't seen each other. At a time like this, it's his friend who comes to show concern. There's no need. We're going to get divorced. What's the point of persisting in this marriage? In the past, I thought that with a child, Vincent would be able to focus more on family. Yet my daughter never experienced the fatherly love that others had. Now that Mia is gone, the pain of losing a daughter has made me truly feel how absurd this marriage is. A marriage that should have been supported by love, now that its only son is gone, is left with nothing but the cold ruins of indifference. Conrad's expression froze for a moment. At that instant, the door suddenly opened. Vincent's usually expressionless face showed a rare emotional fluctuation. You want a divorce? He frowned. Who allowed you to make such a decision on your own? Conrad and Vincent exchanged glances. Vincent's frown deepened, but he didn't say anything, just staring straight at me. If you divorce, what about the business interests between the Lockhart and Ford families? Isn't that what you wanted? Now you're saying you don't want it anymore? Business interests? I never cared about those things. Vincent then answered a phone call. His tone was gentle. Wait a moment, I need to get a document. Take Molly for a walk, I'll come pick you up later. As he spoke, his cold gaze remained fixed on me. Molly, Lexi Owen's daughter. I smiled wryly. Vincent left with the document, leaving behind a sentence. Don't say such thoughtless things again. It wasn't thoughtless at all. Mia's departure had been a revelation. Vincent, after all these years, I was wrong, terribly wrong. From now on, I won't cling anymore. Conrad left me one business card when he departed. I suggest you see a doctor. Your current state is particularly concerning, he said. Don't neglect your mental health either. This is my friend, a reputable doctor. If you need help, give him a call. Or, if you're not comfortable with that, you can call me. I'm just trying to look out for you, for Mia's sake. Don't read too much into it. I nodded and accepted the card. With a degree in biology and a minor in psychology, I was well aware of my issues. I understand. Thank you, I replied. Self-help was beyond my capabilities. Even attempting it was excruciatingly painful for me. Since being with Vincent Lockhart, my depression and anxiety had gradually worsened. For a woman who had devoted herself entirely to her family, the majority of both pain and joy came from that same source. In the past, the happiness my daughter brought balanced me out, allowing me to ignore the feelings of neglect and criticism. She would often throw herself into my arms, pouting adorably. "Mummy, I don't want to go to school." Or she'd smile and hug me with her tiny arms, saying, "Mummy, I missed you so much." But now my daughter was gone, and all I had left was a heart already covered in dust, incapable of rekindling even a spark of hope. After that, my best friend often kept me company. "Oh, come on, put your phone away and chat with me, will you?" Chloe grabbed my arm and snatched my phone, tucking it behind her back. I smiled softly. I just wanted to look at Mia's photos. The smile on Chloe's face froze for a moment. She lowered her eyes and hugged me. "Teresa, Mia wouldn't want you to be like this. Life will get better, don't make the child sad." After seeing Chloe off, I picked up my phone again. I knew there was probably some news on the phone that I shouldn't see. Most likely gossip about the tragic loss of an heiress, along with the flood of comments from netizens. As I scrolled through my daughter's photos, the entertainment news headlines on my phone were particularly eye-catching. #daughter's passing, Lockhart heir rekindles romance with old flame #. Certain heir loses daughter, finds new love #. The accompanying image showed two figures walking side by side, extremely close. Lexi's hand was gripping Vincent's sleeve as she looked up at him. I had thought that without our child, Vincent might go to Lexi, but I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. While the media was extensively reporting on my daughter's death, he was already rekindling an old romance and falling in love with someone else. The bracelet on Lexi's wrist gleamed warmly in the sunlight. I had once seen it in Vincent's study. It was in a blue velvet box, prominently displayed on the desk. I had picked it up with a smile, only to be met with Vincent's frowning rebuke. "Who told you to touch my things? Teresa, how many times do I have to tell you why I married you? Don't you have anything better to do with your time?" I had lowered my eyes, closed the box, and left the study without a word. So that's it. It was meant for Lexi. I remembered when I first started liking Vincent in university. I had always liked to show my sincerity with money, almost frantically pursuing Vincent, boldly and flamboyantly following him around. Back then, no one knew I was the Ford heiress. Everyone just saw me as one of Vincent's well-off admirers. I often tugged at his sleeve. "Vincent, do you have plans for lunch? Let's eat together, my treat. Do you want to invite your friends too?" I smiled at him. Vincent reached out and tapped my head. "Are you that rich? Always offering to treat this and that." I curved my lips. "If I don't have enough money, will you cover for me?" At the time, I thought Vincent genuinely liked me, so I allowed my feelings to grow wildly. Even though there were rumors about him and Lexi, I was too arrogant to take any of the girls around him seriously. Later, Vincent's attitude towards me became increasingly impatient and cold. Teresa, you should focus on yourself. After all, you'll have to take over your family's company in the future, won't you? By then, my identity had been exposed by reporters, causing quite a stir at the university. I never thought Vincent would use this as an excuse to avoid seeing me. I smiled stiffly. What do you mean, take over? Are you angry? I should have told you about this, but I was afraid it would create a distance between us. He coldly interrupted me. I don't care about that. What I mean is, stop following me around from now on. Just as I was about to go after him, Lexi linked her arm with his. Lexi naturally clung to Vincent. With her academic achievements, looks, and that gentle aura about her, they indeed seemed well matched. See, I told you it had to be Lexi. Teresa has that overbearing heiress vibe. Indeed, Lexi and Vincent have known each other for a long time, right? They make a good couple. Someone like Teresa, well, she's too high and mighty. She'd never work with someone from an ordinary background like Vincent. I truly believed it was my family background that made Vincent feel pressured. I tried to explain and show my affection in every way possible. But he remained cold towards me. It wasn't until just before graduation, when I ran into Vincent at an auction in our social circle, that I learned he was actually quite wealthy. I had never thought of giving up my pursuit of him. When I heard he and Lexi were going to be separated, with him studying in Mexico, I naturally followed relentlessly. I believed that true love would be reciprocated. Or at the very least, familiarity would breed affection. In the end, I used family interests to pressure him into marriage. Now, I should understand. Some things won't work out just because you persist. My daughter's passing made me come to my senses. I picked up the phone and dialed, "Mr. White, please draft a divorce agreement." I moved out of the Lockhart house, taking all of Mia's belongings with me. Just as I was about to leave, I ran into Vincent face to face. He was holding some documents in his hand. He grabbed my arm angrily and slammed the door shut. Vincent loosened his tie forcefully and looked down at me, throwing the documents on the table. "What's the meaning of this?" he demanded. "Divorce?" I looked up at him, clutching my suitcase, my face expressionless as I tugged at my lips. "Yes," I replied. "Let's get divorced, Vincent. All these years, I've wronged you. I've kept you by my side because of what happened back then. But I've been punished too. I've lost my daughter." Vincent's jaw tightened. He said coldly, "Is this another one of your tactics, Teresa? Taking a step back to make me change my mind about you?" Mentioning the past, Vincent's hand clenched. "You think saying sorry is enough to erase what happened back then? I don't want to discuss that with you. In any case, I don't want to hear it. I don't agree to a divorce. You need to calm down and stop bringing me these ridiculous agreements." Tears suddenly began to fall from my eyes in large drops. I was startled myself, not even knowing the source of the emotion behind these tears. Fighting the tightness in my chest, I said slowly and deliberately, "I've been the one obsessively clinging to you all this time, Vincent. I know better now. I'm letting you go. You can be with Lexi. I'll take all the blame, so there won't be any obstacles from the outside world. When you're together in the future. Is that all right?" Vincent stared at me for a long while. After a prolonged silence, he seemed to smile slightly. "Teresa, I'm asking you one last time. Do you really want a divorce?" I nodded without hesitation. "Fine," he said. "Let's divorce. I gave you a chance. Teresa, if you come looking for me again, I'll only look down on you." Sharp handwriting signed the divorce papers, and Vincent turned and left. Lexi came to visit me. She brought her daughter, carrying a fruit basket. "Teresa, it's been a long time," she said. Indeed, it had been a long time. We hadn't seen each other since Vincent and I went to Mexico together. Years ago, when I heard others say that Vincent liked Lexi. I even went to her house to ask her directly, "Lexi, are you dating Vincent?" I had asked. Lexi smiled at me. "I'm not comfortable answering that, sorry." I smiled back, "Then I'll assume you're not in a relationship." Lexi's expression froze on her face, and she forced a smile. You can think that way, Miss Ford, but others might not. Besides, you've been chasing Vincent for so long. If you two had a chance, wouldn't you be together by now? If he really liked you, how could he allow rumors about him and me to spread? I pretended not to hear the implication in Lexi's words. It doesn't matter. As long as you're not together, I still have a chance. Coming back to the present. I thought about how arrogant and overconfident I was back then. Now, it just felt ironic. Lexi seemed to have lost her previous bony thinness. Now she was glowing, fair and plump, like a delicate indoor flower well cared for. All these years, even though Vincent married me, he never forgot to take care of her. I was completely wrong in the past. Teresa, I don't mean anything by this, Lexi said. I came here to try and persuade you. I looked at her daughter's confused expression, and my heart suddenly ached. If my Mia had lived, she would have been this sweet and adorable. I said flatly, just say what you want to say, Lexi. Lexi tucked her hair behind her ear. I know you're in pain because you lost your child. But Vincent's pain is no less than yours. You've kept him by your side for so many years, it's time to let him go. She stroked her daughter's head, as if taunting me. Don't you understand? The one who survived is my daughter, who has no blood relation to him. Lexi's words stabbed my heart like a knife. Please let us be together, Teresa. He never loved you. Now that you've lost your only bargaining chip, why humiliate yourself further? I colded my face, my child was never a bargaining chip. If you keep talking about my daughter, I won't hesitate to throw you out. Lexi's face changed. And if you and Vincent are so in love, why do you need to come here yourself to ask me to leave? Lexi clenched her hands, her expression gradually paling. But I won't dwell on it. Vincent and I will divorce soon. We've both signed the divorce papers. You don't need to come find me again. Only then did a smile appear on her face. Watching Lexi's retreating figure, I let out a heavy sigh. In the past, I didn't take her seriously. But now, I felt like a clown in front of her. After fighting for Vincent's love for so many years, I had to use my daughter's life to realize how ridiculous it was to persist in an impossible love. After signing the divorce papers with Vincent, I decided to leave the country immediately. I made up my mind to settle abroad. Conrad came along with me. I leaned against the railing, smoking heavily. The swirling smoke and the painful coughing helped me forget my sorrow. Why do you insist on following me? I asked. If you dislike me, just say it directly, will you? I don't have the energy to deal with you. Please, leave me alone. Conrad stared at me silently. He didn't speak for a while. Finally, he murmured, you know something's not right with you, don't you? Why won't you see a doctor? Why did you leave your parents and come here alone? What exactly are you planning to do? I chuckled, what? Are you afraid I might kill myself? Conrad's eyes filled with complex emotions, as if my words had struck a nerve. Isn't that the case? He asked. Teresa, are you going to obsess over this forever? Has losing Vincent's love reduced you to this? Have you forgotten how spirited you used to be? Are you going to spend your whole life fixated on one man's love? On a family that's already fallen apart? Family. But what about my daughter in that family? If I don't hold on, who will remember my little girl? I lowered my eyes and took another weary drag of my cigarette. Conrad, do you like me? He stiffened, his jaw tightening. Before he could answer, I continued, when did you start liking me? Was it at university, or after I got married? Do you think that now that I've been abandoned? With everyone in our circle laughing at me, my child gone, you can easily play the hero and be with me? You're just making me feel sick. I had said something harsh, hoping the proud and face-saving Conrad would leave. But instead of hearing footsteps walking away, I heard Conrad's clear voice, tinged with resignation. Yes, I do like you. But I didn't know you were unhappy in your marriage. It was Mia. She said she hoped I could be her dad. She said she rarely saw Vincent at home, but saw him picking up other children from nursery. Vincent was seldom home, and your smiles became fewer and fewer. I froze. Mia. My daughter was so young, I never thought she would connect my happiness to Vincent. I always told her, "Do you miss Daddy? He'll be back in a few days. Daddy's just on a business trip." How could he not love our Mia? Daddy will take us to the amusement park. Shall we invite Mia's best friend to come along? My daughter would always hug my waist, leaning on me with complete dependence, softly saying, "Okay." Such a small child, was she actually comforting me? I covered my lips, trembling, as tears instantly blurred my vision. Mia. I collapsed onto the ground, the momentarily forgotten pain suddenly engulfing me. Before my eyes, the river water sparkled. But in my mind, all I could see was my daughter's tender face. The breeze and the air seemed to turn into countless small knives, becoming blades that intensified my agony. I broke down, sobbing uncontrollably, repeatedly pounding my chest. My daughter. My little Mia, Mummy is so sorry. Conrad pulled me into his arms, grasping my hands. Hit me, Teresa. Don't cry. Please, don't cry. After returning home, I accidentally found a letter I had once written to Vincent. While searching through my daughter's things. Back then, when I was pursuing him, I tried various methods and approaches. I never did anything unethical. Every action was sincere and heartfelt. The letter was many pages long, pouring out all my feelings for him. But later, the letter was returned unopened. It was Lexi who handed it to me personally. "I'm sorry, Teresa. Vincent asked me to help him dispose of some rubbish. When I saw your signature, I thought I'd bring it to you instead." My pride couldn't bear Lexi's mocking gaze. I snatched the envelope and threw it in the bin. "No need, if he doesn't like it, just throw it away." After she left, I cried alone for a long time, then sniffling, fished it out of the bin. I've kept it until now, never opening it again. Looking back on my past foolishness is a way to stay grounded, I suppose. I opened the envelope and read through it, right up to the last sentence I had written. "So, Vincent, may I stay by your side?" I smirked, about to throw it away, when I noticed familiar handwriting on the back of the last page. It was Vincent's handwriting. It read, "Teresa, I will never like you. Don't hurt yourself unnecessarily. There's no point in wasting your time on me." If I had seen this back then, would I have hesitated for a moment? Could I have avoided my current situation? No use dwelling on it now. I took out my daughter's clothes and toys, placing them beside me. After searching through everything, I couldn't find Mia's favorite music box. It must have been left at the Lockharts. Just as I was about to call Vincent, a WhatsApp message popped up. It was from Lexi. In the photo, Lexi's daughter was sitting face to face with Vincent. He was smiling, while the girl held Mia's music box. And Vincent was gently patting her head. With a lump in my throat, I dialed his number. Vincent's cool voice came through the phone. "I told you, Teresa, if you try to reconcile with me now, I'll only look down on you." I cut him off. "Give me back my daughter's music box." "What music box?" "The one Lexi's daughter is holding in her hand." Vincent paused. "It's just a music box. You've taken so many of Mia's things. This child likes it, so let her play with it for a while." I took a deep breath. "That's my daughter's possession, Vincent. You can't just give it away to anyone. You don't have the right to do that." "Fine, if you want it, come and get it yourself." I booked a flight back to country for the next day. Conrad insisted on coming with me. I felt irritated. "Conrad, do you like me?" I asked maliciously, pressing him. "When did you start liking me? Was it at university, or after I got married? Do you think that now I've been abandoned? Everyone in our circle is laughing at me. I've lost the baby. You can easily play the hero." Seeing Conrad's expression grow increasingly strange, I suddenly froze. A wave of confusion washed over me as fragments of memories flashed before my eyes. I seemed to have said these exact words before. Conrad gripped my arm, concern flooding his eyes. "Teresa." My fingertips trembled uncontrollably, but I couldn't remember when it had happened. I tried desperately to recall. But those fragments suddenly disappeared, leaving a blank. Tears slid down my cheeks as Conrad held me tightly in his arms. We're going to the hospital. Right now. Dissociative amnesia and severe depression. I stared at the diagnosis for a long time. I wanted to curl my lips in mockery, but it felt as if I had no strength left. Conrad held my hand tightly. He was far more nervous than I was. Let's accept treatment, shall we? He said. If not for yourself, then for Mia. A faint light flickered in my eyes, as I recalled scenes of Conrad coming to our house to take Mia out to play. Uncle, can we ask Mummy to come out and play with us? I want the three of us to go out together. Conrad would usually glance at me without emotion, then gently pinch Mia's cheeks. Your mummy doesn't really want to go out. Uncle will take you, and we'll have more fun just the two of us, okay? Back then, I never looked deeply into Conrad's gaze. Now, thinking back, it seemed that, like in the past, his eyes always held a mix of tentative, nervous, and tender emotions. I nodded. All right. The dissociative amnesia was more severe than I had imagined. It was a rainy day. Conrad and I were out for a walk. The light drizzle gradually turned into a downpour, forcing us to seek shelter in a gazebo. Suddenly, a thought struck me. I grabbed Conrad's hand, exclaiming, "This is all your fault. You insisted on dragging me out, and now I've forgotten to pick up Mia." Conrad's expression froze, his eyes trembling for a moment. Teresa, where were you supposed to pick up Mia? I frowned and shook off his hand. What do you mean, where? I brought Mia to Germany for a holiday and left her with the Smiths. Don't you remember? Conrad gripped my hand tightly, his jaw clenched and his expression pained. Teresa, you're ill. Mia is gone. What are you talking about? Conrad, are you mad? A car sped past us. The image of a dark-haired girl caught my eye. The girl's eyes darted around in panic. She was clutching a beautifully crafted doll, frozen with fear in the middle of the road as she stared at the approaching car. The vehicle drew closer and closer. The petite girl's face overlapped with the image of Mia in my mind. My heart clenched, and I lunged towards her. Mia! The car grazed my arm, leaving a bloody gash on my elbow. The girl burst into tears, terrified, and I finally saw her face clearly. She had dark hair, but she wasn't Mia. The girl was quickly whisked away by her parents. Conrad knelt beside me, his suit soaked through and his hair dripping wet. He held me tightly in his arms. His voice seemed choked with tears. Teresa. I leaned into Conrad's embrace, feeling utterly exhausted. I placed my hand on his arm. I remember now. Mia. Mia has been gone for a long time. When I woke up, I found myself lying in a hospital bed. I frowned and rubbed my forehead, feeling sore all over. The room was empty, but I could hear voices arguing outside. I pulled back the covers, stood up, and walked towards the door. Familiar voices reached my ears. What do you mean, Conrad? Do I need your permission to meet Teresa now? You're divorced now. You have no connection to her anymore. I'm still her ex-husband. I've been part of her life for so many years. The man's voice was low and restrained with anger. Move aside. I don't want to question your relationship. I just need to know why she's in hospital and how she's doing. Vincent, aren't you marrying Lexi soon? Do you think she'd want to see you now, given your current situation? My affairs with anyone are none of your business, Conrad Simmons. If you insist on standing in my way, I'll have to ask how long you've been coveting Teresa? There was a loud thud. Someone must have been hit. I gently pushed open the door to see the two men grappling with each other. They both froze and turned to look at me simultaneously, then awkwardly let go of each other and straightened their clothes. My gaze fell on Conrad's lip. I reached out to grab his sleeve, frowning. Did you get hit? Conrad pressed his lips together and nodded. The man called Vincent was staring intently at me. I gave him a puzzled look, then asked Conrad, "Who's this?" Vincent froze completely. His eyes suddenly filled with emotion, and he grabbed my hand, as if laughing in disbelief. Teresa, are you and Conrad playing games with me now? I yanked my hand away abruptly, pressing my lips together in silence, feeling irritated. Vincent stared at me, his eyes blazing with anger. "Say something." Conrad shielded me behind him and said calmly, "Can you guess why she's in hospital?" Vincent suddenly went rigid. "Dissociative amnesia. She's experiencing sudden memory loss of traumatic life events." "Vincent, she's forgotten you but not me." Vincent's pupils contracted. He looked at me, staring intently into my eyes. "How is that possible? How could she possibly forget me?" I interrupted their conversation. "Conrad, can you come in with me? My back hurts a bit, probably from yesterday's accident." Conrad nodded. Vincent grabbed my arm. "Teresa. Teresa, I'm not marrying Lexi, and I've kept all the things you left at home. I can accompany you for treatment. I don't have much work lately anyway. I've also kept our daughter's music box, always waiting for you to come back." I walked into the room without looking back. "I'm sorry, but I really don't remember you right now. We can talk about all that when I remember." I knew the man behind me hadn't left. I could feel his gaze lingering on my back for a long time. "I still remember," I said, looking up at Conrad. All those words I said to Vincent were just an act. I simply didn't want to be entangled with him anymore. Conrad gently ruffled my hair. "I know," he said softly. I paused for a moment, recalling Vincent's expression earlier. He seemed quite anxious when he learned I was ill. When we first got married, I used to eagerly await his return home every day. But he was always hanging around Lexi every other day. I often pretended to be sick to trick him into coming home. All I got in return was a cold, "Teresa, just hang in there. If you die at home, I'll only call someone to carry your body out." Later on, even when I was genuinely ill, I wouldn't receive a single concerned glance from him. Only little Mia would grasp my hand with her tiny fingers, press her soft cheek against mine, and call out "Mummy" in her gentle voice. Tears began to fall as I thought of Mia. Every time I remember her, I'm overwhelmed with heartache and sorrow. How can any mother continue to live peacefully in this world after losing her daughter? I can't do it. I just can't. My memory loss and depression have shown some improvement. But I often dream of the day my daughter left us. In my dreams, she cries for help amidst the flames, desperately calling out for her father. Yet she watches helplessly as her body melts away in the fire, while her father carries away someone else's daughter. Mia used to love watching cartoons. The educational stories always left her with many questions. She once asked me, "Mom, if I get sick, will you protect me?" Our Mia won't get sick. But if you do, Mommy will definitely protect you and take care of you. What about Daddy? Daddy will protect you too, of course. No matter what. Finally, the dream scene shifts, transforming into Mia laughing as she jumps into my arms. But when I reach out to hold her, she suddenly vanishes. I wake with a start, gasping for air, tears suddenly flowing. "Mia, do you resent Mummy? Mummy has let you down." Lexi called me over a dozen times. I picked up. "What's the matter?" Her voice was anxious and reproachful. "Vincent's been in a car accident." I gripped my phone tightly. "So? What's that got to do with me? You want me to go back and see him?" Lexi took a deep breath. "Teresa, I know you blame him for not being able to save your daughter back then. But now he's in critical condition. If you have any conscience left, you should come and see him." I wasn't the one who crashed into him. Even if I was, I wouldn't have that kind of conscience. But he went racing because he knew you were ill. He deliberately crashed into the foot of the mountain. He might not even survive. There was a long silence on the phone. From the other end came Lexi's intermittent sobs. "Teresa, I should never have fought with you from the beginning. Vincent never liked me." I frowned. Lexi continued on her own at the other end. "Do you know why I was able to take advantage during university? Do you know why no matter how much you tried to please Vincent, you could never win his affection? Have you ever thought about your identity? Teresa, did you know your mother once got the position of company chairperson? Do you know who else was competing for it that year and passed away the same year? It was Vincent's mother, Kaylee Cox." I gripped my phone tightly. "What do you mean?" Are you saying my mother caused Vincent's mother's death because of her position? Lexi's voice was urgent. Anyway, this is the reason why Vincent stayed by your side but always pushed you away. So, this was also why Vincent always thought I prioritized my own interests and would stop at nothing to get what I wanted. He even believed that our daughter was just a weapon I used to trap him. I suddenly felt everything was too ridiculous. He's about to die now. I hope you can come and see him. He's a victim too. He lost his mother when he was 14, Teresa, you. I abruptly interrupted her. Lexi, I never covered Vincent's mouth to prevent him from revealing those hidden truths. Besides, I don't believe my mother would have done such a thing back then. Between Vincent and me, it was all over when my daughter left. If he had ever truly loved me, then all of this was his own choice. No one ever forced him. Later, Conrad gave me the music box. Along with it came Vincent's letter. In the letter, he seemed like a changed man. Long, long words, as if afraid there would be no more chances to speak. I'm sorry, Teresa. The day I had the car accident, my father cried. He said I kept mumbling your name. After much hesitation, he finally revealed the truth about my mother's departure years ago. They had an argument, and my mother, in a moment of carelessness, crashed the car. The vehicle was destroyed, and she didn't survive. I'm sorry, Teresa. I'm so sorry. In the past, I couldn't let go of what happened to my mother. But I projected all these complex emotions onto you. I love you. From the moment you came close to me, and every moment after that. My eyes have never left you. But I could never accept myself for loving you. So I kept tormenting you, and tormenting myself in the process. The day Mia left, I know this sounds like an excuse. I didn't see our daughter at that time, and Lexi's daughter was closer to me. I saved her child. As for why I've always been in close contact with Lexi, it's because her parents once helped my mother when she was alive. Teresa. When I saw you fall ill and forget me, that unprecedented fear and panic surrounded me. I couldn't accept you forgetting me. I'm sorry. I know saying more is futile. This car accident is my way of atonement. I've lost both my legs, I'll never be able to stand up again. Would you turn back to me one more time out of pity? I folded the letter and placed it in Conrad's hand. Throw the letter away. There's no need to reply. Between Vincent and me, perhaps we truly loved each other once. But at this point, I don't want to dwell on those feelings anymore. My persistence has long become a thing of the past. Vincent's remorse and atonement have nothing to do with me anymore. I just want to live well. For my Mia, to live well. I saw Vincent again after 3 years. By then, my dissociative amnesia and depression had largely improved. I was taking a stroll with Conrad in Cologne Square. Vincent was turning the wheels of his wheelchair. When our eyes met, Vincent froze, his gaze fixed on me without blinking. I held Conrad's arm, looking down at Vincent with no emotion. Vincent's hands rested on his knees, unconsciously gripping them tightly. His eyes flickered with a hint of evasion and insecurity. Yet he still spoke. It's been a long time. I nodded. Indeed, it has. How have you been lately? Not bad. Vincent's eyes shimmered. They were full of guilt and regret. Back then, that letter. Let's not talk about the past. What we had ended long ago. Tears fell from Vincent's eyes as I looked away, unmoved. Pigeons gathered around the fountain. At that moment, a white dove took flight. Towards the azure sky, towards the setting sun. The slight movement of its tail reminded me of what my daughter once said. Mom, I want to be like a white dove too. Flying high and far, so amazing. Mom, you be the mother dove. Let's fly far away together. Mia. Mummy is listening to you, flying towards freedom. Towards the distance, higher and farther. In a certain instant, a certain moment, in every moment I make a choice. It's as if Mia is right beside me. Forever, in another way, accompanying me.